Welcome to Comics on Parole. My name is Dan Glazer. How you doing, Al?
Good, man. How's it going?
Doing fine. Vanessa's not here. She will not be, or DJ Vanessa will not be here all summer, but she'll be sending us very revealing pictures of herself.
Can't wait.
On the beach. And we have a really good show here. We have two comics, a touring comic, Richard Conklin, and a local comic, Woody B. We have a new little segment now. They'll each get a gift certificate to the O Sings Massage Parlor on Cheshire Bridge. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Let's hear a clap. No, that's not a clap. Okay. Anyway, stop. Stop this. Stop. Stop. Okay. So we don't have any sound effect. Vanessa's not here, so we can't. So anyway, we have two comics today, so we have plenty of time to waste. So, you know, all the comics, the young comics, get to go out about 4 or 5 times to be a comic. To do it once a week isn't enough. You really got to do it about 3, 4, 5 times a week to be really good at it. It's about a 10-year period to become good at this, except the rare ones that become big the first year, like Jeff Foxworthy. But I never get to go out. I go to our open mic every week at Jerry Farber's, and so I write jokes down, but I never get time to say them. So I decided I'd say a few here. Whether they're good or not, I don't know, but it's an opportunity to say them. So the Surgeon General gave out a report today for residents of Mississippi and Alabama. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. He said the only thing worse than secondhand smoke is secondhand chewing tobacco. Okay. And I was at Home Depot. This is true. Comedy always comes from, jokes come from something true. Am I wrong? Something true. And I was at Home Depot this weekend, and I went up to a lady that was in her late 60s and very hard of hearing. And I said to her, I said, is that really necessary? I said to her, can you tell me where the stud finders are? She said, yeah, I finds a lot of studs walk through this place. There's a honey right now. I'll be right back. Okay, that's joke number 2. Let's start mark that off the list. Okay. Then this is another true story. I was at the Apple store this weekend looking, having my laptop was broken actually. So I had to make a decision. Do I buy a new iWatch or buy a Mac laptop? And I decided to buy the Mac laptop because I found a watch band big enough to fit it.
Oh.
That's a funny joke if you think about it.
You need some drums, you know.
Do I have any drums? No drums. No, I have boo. Okay, so let's mark that joke off.
Right.
So, my wife and I wanted a bigger home. We only have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, no basement. So we decided to make it a bigger home. We bought 3 doors and super glued them up to the hallway upstairs. Because a 6-bedroom house has a lot better resale value than a 3-bedroom house. So we're actually thinking about splurging and buying a basement door and gluing that downstairs. Does that deserve some laughter? Okay.
Get that money, man.
Now this is the end before we start the show, and this is true.
Okay.
I caught my wife in bed with the plumber the other day. He was working on her pipes too. But I caught my wife in bed with the plumber, so I beat the crap out of him, and I plunged him out the window. And on top of that, he didn't even give me my discount coupon for the job he did. Damn you, Angie's List! We're not bought to you by Angie's List, nor Starbucks. Okay. Okay, that's the joke for this thing. I'll have more the next time I go say. I never get an opportunity. You have any jokes you'd like to say now?
No, I'll bring some next time.
Okay. So now what we want to do is welcome to the stage a very, very challenged comic but yet very talented. He's performed for the likes of Pat Dixon, Drew Thomas, David Attell, and Warren Durso. Let's give it up for that funny man who tours all over the country, Mr. Richard Conklin.
All right, thank you.
Good to see you, Richard.
Good to see you, too.
Let's shut this off. Okay.
All right.
Now, I first saw Richard perform. We went up to see a comic named Warren Durso. I really should have put his picture up there again because Warren Durso, if you ever watch see Esquire magazine, some time ago they put the Kardashian girl who was pregnant naked.
Yep.
So what they did with Warren months ago, they put a picture of him naked and call him the ugliest comic in America.
Yep.
I wouldn't say he's the ugliest, but he's close.
He's in the top 5.
He's
definitely
very nice guy, very talented, very successful as a comic, and you opened for him.
I did.
So did you know of Warren before?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
so who called you? Bonkers?
Yeah, it was Bonkers.
And when they called you to open for him, what did you think? Were you excited?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I jumped at the opportunity.
Yeah.
So opportunity to work comedy. I'm all for it.
And you went and picked him up at the airport.
I did.
I bet that was an interesting.
Oh yeah. Well, Warren. Yeah, you got to know him. He's an interesting character. He is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I got to talk to him. The first thing he mentions is that article that calls him the ugliest comic in America. And he's very quick to point out that he may be the ugliest comic in America, but they said he was funny. Because if you know one thing about comedians, you can say anything about us as long as you tell us that we're funny.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you come up after the show and say, "Hey, you were kind of funny," that's like telling the girl that she's kind of pretty.
Right.
You don't do that. You don't do that. But the article said he was funny, and so he was fine with also being called the ugliest comedian in America.
But he did make that up? They made that up?
He did not make that up.
Did they know he was going to put that on?
No, it was actually the guy who wrote the article. I don't know his name, but he was looking for ugly people to
do
do
you have that
stories
picture?
about.
Do you see if you have that picture? Oh, gosh. I'm in the medical industry, and I'm being called by a doctor, which I will have to decline. Okay, go ahead.
What picture is that?
Okay, there was a picture of Warren Durso. We showed him last week with Mark Evans naked.
Yeah.
Listen, it's been wonderful having you on the show.
Well, all right, thank you. Well, I'm glad I made the drive for this.
No, what happened, we were Facebook friends, but what happened, I posted a joke I guess he liked. It was that here in Atlanta, I lost my debit card here in Atlanta.
Right.
And a very honest gentleman found it, called me up, said, "Are you Dan Glazer?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I found your debit card." I said, "That's wonderful. Where do I meet you to come get it?" He said, "Hawaii."
Yeah.
Laughter. Okay, so let's get on to you. What made you go into comedy?
Well, I always enjoyed comedy, and I actually have a work career. I'm an engineer by trade.
Right.
And I got to a point in my career where I was doing a lot of public speaking. I was giving a lot of presentations, and I was just not quite comfortable with it. I'd get nervous before I went up, and so I decided, I got to get over this. So I figured I could either do stand-up comedy or something else, and I just figured stand-up comedy might be a good way to take care of those nerves.
Now let me ask you: when you made your speeches, did you have them on paper or was it by memory?
Well, I always, of course, wrote the material out, but I'd practice it and practice it and practice it and memorize it, of course, and then I'd deliver it.
Because I was talking to you earlier, I thought I had stage fright, which turned out it's not stage fright. It's a fear of not remembering the joke.
Sure, yeah.
Being in front, and I just came to that realization that I had won 5 minutes to go do 5 minutes of Louis Anderson's. It about killed me.
Really?
I said, but I realized, and I said, I don't even want to do this. I'm going to give this away. I don't want to do it. But when I realized it's the remembering the joke. It's not the being in front of the people. Am I wrong?
No, I absolutely know what you're talking about. And for me, when I first went up on stage, the same things, bad stage presence, not necessarily having the timing right. In fact, when I first went up on stage, I try to memorize all the jokes, which isn't necessarily what you want to do.
No, because you don't feel them when you memorize them.
Exactly. You just want to remember the main points and then perform them as opposed to just reciting them.
Right.
And if you're concentrating on, how do I remember this joke, then you fall into the trap of just reciting the joke as opposed to performing it. So what I would always do, and I think this is a trick that works for a lot of comedians, is just practice. Find a place where you can practice it. If it's in your house, great. For me, it was in my car.
Yeah.
Because,
a lot of comedians
in
do
Atlanta here, you're stuck in traffic all the time. You might as well get some practice time.
Well, you know what's interesting? One thing that helped me, I learned in psychology class that if you I learned the best way to remember it. You look at something, close the book, and write in cursive.
Yes.
Because it flows to the brain.
Yep.
And I don't even think they teach cursive writing in schools anymore.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And so what I'll do is write the joke out 5 times, and it's amazing how it works.
Yeah, I use that trick all the time. I'm a computer guy, so you know, I naturally tend to type things. But I would always write the jokes out, and especially now, you know, if I'm doing a long set, you know, if I write the set list out, you know, 3 to 5 times, you know, just in cursive, it'll just be set right.
That's right. And how many minutes do you have accumulated? You've been a comic for 10 years.
About 10 years. Yeah.
So you're at that 10-year wall.
That's right.
There's a 5-year wall and a 10-year wall. It's like being a doctor. This is a very mentally challenging career. It really is. And you have to be mental to enter into it. But it is challenging. I saw to comics that I can't do anymore. It's just too time consuming.
Yep.
So how many minutes can you do?
The longest show I've done is an hour.
Okay, but how much material do you have?
My strong material, I think, is about 40 minutes. And then the time that I did the hour show, I was riffing with the audience.
You worked with the audience.
Yeah, it was mostly, that specific show was a corporate gig.
How long did it take to learn how to joke with the audience, to talk back and forth?
I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
There are some comedians that are just natural at interacting and riffing with the audience. For me, that was something that I really had to learn to do. It did not come naturally at all to me. Yeah. And really, the first thing I had to do was to get comfortable up on stage. And once I was comfortable with my material and the delivery and the performance of the jokes, as opposed to just memorizing them and regurgitating them. Then I was able to interact more with the audience. And it started with one specific joke, and then because I have a couple of jokes where almost always somebody will point to somebody else, and then if you have that happen in the audience, that's basically like somebody begging you to riff with them.
Well, you have to think of them as your friend.
Right.
And my wife said to me, she said, you're a joke. I said, well, if I'm a joke, why are you always heckling me? she goes, I didn't say you were a good joke.
Oh, very nice.
But that's when you develop new material too. When people heckle you, you develop comebacks.
Right. Well, you do, and most hecklers, not all, but most of them think that they're helping the show.
No,
and they're not.
They're getting into it.
They're trying to be helpful, and not realizing that. A lot of times they're just interrupting the show, and
sometimes they really like you and feel a connection with you.
That's right.
And they want to get into a conversation with you.
That's right.
And they just don't realize. I went to see Bill Cosby, and someone was doing that to him. They liked him, so they would compliment it, and he went 30 minutes talking back and forth with this person, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just hilarious. So anyway, and no, it wasn't a young girl of 20, and she didn't want a sleeping pill or a drink or anything like that. He is a legend. We got to separate his life from the comedy. The comedy is legend.
Agreed.
I had never heard those rumors before. That's how illiterate I am on the comedy, but he was just a wonder to see.
Yep.
And now, so when you did your first set, when did you go and do your second set?
It was shortly after. The first set that I went, I'd always wanted to do comedy. I decided I was going to do an open mic night, so I started writing material and bouncing it off of friends, and eventually they got to the point of, okay, it's good enough, you got to get up on stage. And so I was out, I think it was at the Funny Farm, Marshall Child's old club. He runs Laughing Skull now. Yeah. But I was out there, just on a regular night to see a show, and they had an advertisement for an open mic.
Yeah.
And they do it every Wednesday. So I just decided I'm gonna go give it a shot, and I went with a buddy of mine. We had a few beers before I went up on stage, which was a huge mistake because
that messes you up.
Oh, it does. It completely messes up your timing. But I was nervous, and I had no idea what I was doing that first night. No idea.
So how did it go?
It went okay. My performance wasn't very good because I had just memorized the jokes and I was just repeating them as opposed to performing them. But I didn't even, for example, I didn't even know what the light was.
Oh, I did that.
Because the light, when you're a new comedian, every venue has a light.
Did they get upset with you?
Well, the light goes on, and I'm like, hey, that's
that
cool.
Light?
They're flashing
a
light at
me.
me.
Fix that light over there.
And eventually the MC comes over, and they put the house music on, and he pulls me off the stage. And afterwards, everybody's very, very friendly.
Did they take a hook?
It wasn't quite that bad, but it was pretty close.
And sometimes you can't see the light.
Well, I could see it. I just didn't know what it was.
They didn't warn you?
They might have, but I was so nervous and thinking about my set that whatever they had told me,
Do you ever go back to Laughing Skull now?
Oh yeah,
perform there?
sure.
So you're friends with Marshall Child?
I know him. We're not good, but I've always got to say thank you to him because he was the first guy that really gave me stage
What's
time.
amazing is the stars that come by there. I mean, just pop in. I was there one day. Cho
Okay.
just popped in, sang a song. She sang a song.
Yeah.
And then the next time I see her on the Academy Awards acting as the president of North Korea.
Right.
So it's weird. She'll be here. Or Ron White.
Yeah.
Will pop in. Just
Right.
pops into an open mic.
Oh yeah.
Like he's one of you.
Right, I know. There used to be room over in Buford, the Buford Variety Theater, that he would occasionally pop
He
into.
liked that. He liked that. Did Chris Tucker ever pop into one of your shows?
Not when I was there.
He's
no.
funny. He'll
Yeah.
pop in and do an hour.
Right.
Now Ron is very gracious. He'll do 5-10 minutes.
Right.
And there's a time where a joke doesn't work for him.
It happens to
And
us
he
all.
says, "Oh, well, we won't use that joke," and everyone laughs.
Of course.
And that's the funny thing when you bomb at a joke. And when you say something spontaneous because of bombing a joke, then everyone laughs at that.
That's true. Yeah.
Everyone laughs.
Yeah, nobody is perfect at their job.
No.
And if you just point that out on stage, look, I screwed up my job. Don't pretend that you haven't done it too.
And you learn more from bombing
You do.
than doing well.
Right. And, comedy is all about taking risks.
Yeah.
And sometimes you write material and in your brain it's hilarious and you go do it on stage and it doesn't work and you keep trying it and keep trying to give that joke wings and eventually you determine
It's
just-
even funnier
it's
when
just
you
not
say it
gonna
in
work.
front of the mirror naked. I said a joke once,
Yeah.
and no one laughed. Well,
Uh-huh.
I've said a joke. Let me rephrase that. I've said a joke many times where nobody laughed, and I just one day said, "Well, that was funny when I said it in front of the mirror naked," and that got a big laugh. He wasn't
Yeah.
planning on saying, but
Sure.
you know why he got a laugh? Because it was sincere.
Yeah, because it's sincere and spontaneous. Yeah.
Sincerity is
Yep.
what really pays. Let's see a moment of Rich's set.
I got a question for the married guys. Married guys, have you ever woken up in the morning and your wife, she's just pissed off at you for something that you did in her dream? I woke up the other day. My wife is breathing fire. She's so angry with me. I had no idea what it was that I did in her dream to make her that mad. But if it had been real life, I know that I would have enjoyed it. Yeah, Vegas. It turns out I went to Vegas in my wife's dream, and she was mad at me because I went to Vegas with my buddies and spent thousands of dollars. I left her all alone to take care of the kids. It's like, come on, honey, that's... Wait a minute, that's brilliant! It's a great idea, and I think I should go, because when I married you, I promised that I would make your dreams come true. Not going to Vegas. I just got back from Savannah, though. For those of you that have never been to Savannah, let me go ahead and save you a 5-hour drive. Because the place, it's just full of brothels. It's just brothel, cemetery, riverfront. That's Savannah right there. Only in Savannah, they don't call them brothels. They call them bed and breakfasts. But really, if you think about it, bed and breakfast.
So you were married once before, right?
I was, yeah.
And you have a lovely girlfriend. I wish she
fiancé.
could have come. Fiance.
Yeah.
Wish you loved you. And you get your best. You still used humor from your first marriage. And
Oh yes. As I say in the routine, my ex-wife and I, we had religious differences. She doesn't believe in postmarital sex.
So you do.
Right.
Listen, thank you. So where are you going to be performing next?
Well, actually, my next time I think is going to be at your club.
Oh, very good.
At your open mic night.
Very good.
So
That's
I will be
tomorrow
there.
night. Okay,
All right,
very
man.
good. Thank you
All right,
so
very
much,
good.
Rich.
Thank you, bud.
Let's play an open mic announcement. And come on up here, Woody.
Are you ready to get glazed? It's time to get glazed with Dan Glazer and friends at Jerry Farber's Side Door Hour, featuring Comics on Parole Open Mouth every Wednesday night at 9:30 at Jerry Farber's Side Door at 3652 Roswell Road, Atlanta, Georgia. $5 admission, which includes free wings and sandwiches. So join us for a mouthful of laughter at Jerry Farber's Side Door at 3652 Roswell Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Give him a call, 770-738-3000. That's 770-738-3000. Or visit him on the web at www.jerryfarberssidedoor.com.
And I want to give a little shout out to Jerry Farbers. Okay, now I want to welcome to the stage a young man, and I truly call him a friend, who's been performing how many years now?
About 4 now.
4 years, same time as me, but he's much better than me. A young man that tours the city, goes out of town and tours, and is going to be on here to talk about his show at Jerry Farber Side Door. I want to welcome to the stage the parole desk, Mr. Woody B. How you doing, Woody?
Thanks, man.
Okay, now...
Short as that's good.
Okay, so Woody, you've been doing comedy for about as long as I have, but before that you were a DJ, correct?
Yes.
And how long have you been a DJ?
DJs several clubs for about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy DJ? Now, you weren't really more a touring DJ. You were just stationed at a few clubs.
Yeah, I DJed at strip clubs for the majority of it.
But you did other than strip clubs, right?
Oh, no, not just that.
You did My Bedroom for my wife and... Oh, okay, forget.
Well, there's no naked people there, so I did.
That's true. That's good thing my wife isn't here. Okay. Now, you also were in the Army before that.
I was in the Air Force for about 10 years.
10 years? Yeah. So you really were going to make it a career?
No. I found out that I make a better criminal than a cop, so...
Wait. You were a cop in the Army.
I was an MP in the Air Force. Why do you try to keep...
Air Force.
They run too much.
Now, were you funny as a kid growing up?
Kinda. I always wanted to be the center of attention for a long time.
Right.
And did a lot of talent shows when I was younger in middle school like that. And then... I decided that I wasn't funny for about 14 years, and now I'm trying to reassert myself into that belief.
So what spurred you to start 4 years ago?
The Punchline was right next to the work I was working at. So I decided to get up there and bomb for 5 minutes. And then after I got done with that, I said, I could probably do better.
Yeah.
So I tried to do it again.
Really? Yeah. So you just kept going back?
Just kept on going back.
Because you videoed, the Punchline has closed. They have reopened part-time in Alpharetta, and they're going to be open in Peachtree City. But was it you that filmed the video, or was it Stephen? There was a video.
It was Stephen Knows. It was a different Asian.
A different Asian.
And I'm glad you included me in the Asian, because I am half Filipino, so
that's true.
My Filipino half. Thanks.
But I saw the video. You were very upset.
I think a lot of people were upset.
Yeah, very heartbroken.
A lot of people were upset. And it's 33 years. 33 years, was that right? But
just right when I moved here, and the place was like, I don't know if the building was new, but
the building wasn't new. The building was a Western bar before it became the Punchline.
Oh yeah. It was an amazing place. It's one. Besides the Punchline, Jerry Farber, you never went anywhere else for comedy. We went to Jerry Farber Punchline, and there was one other guy that was like Red Skelton, but he's before you were born. Now, so you bombed, but you kept going forward.
Yes, because I am a glutton for punishment.
No, but let me explain something to you. And you're a very humble person, but your comedy is good, and it's intelligent.
I'm a humble person. I'm a very horrible person.
No, you're humble in your skill, because I see you get up there and say very, very funny things. In fact, I want to show a set, and then we're going to talk about your show at Jerry's.
Well, we'll prove we're not funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, another friend of mine coming to the stage to make you laugh. Put your seatbelts on, get ready, and say hi to my good friend, Mr. Woody B. People, there he is. How you guys doing? A friend of mine told me that you can learn a lot about yourself if you walk around your house naked. So I did, and I learned that I really got to start closing my curtains. It was horrible. I was just there. It was bare to all my front lawn, to a bunch of chirping birds, and one very confused mailman. I thought I was going to be done with it. I waved at him, he waved at me. I thought it was the end, but now he shows up every day asking if I have a package for him. I swear. Postal Service is in a lot of trouble, is going bankrupt with all the emails. But I found out a way to save it. We take up all the undelivered mail and we give it to Jehovah's Witnesses. They're going door to door anyways, people. Wouldn't that be great? Have you heard the good news? Your new Victoria's Secret is here. It's a beautiful concept, but the Mormons get a hold of the Geek Squad. I like that one. We'll push up. I don't like getting judged. because I get judged enough at work because I work at a strip club, and no, sir, no, you give me that look like, is he one of the dancers? No, okay? I hung out my shoes a long time ago. No, I mean my friends kind of look down on me, but whenever they throw a birthday party, who supplies the strippers? Which is why I am banned from Chuck E. Cheese. In my defense, there was one epic 10th birthday party. I think the parents were just upset they were playing with my gifts and not theirs. I gotta stop tagging so much, they're not taking the tags. That was for them. Kids, man. Anybody got kids? Woo! Why? Oh my God, why? I view kids like Porsches. You know, I want one, but I saw the price tag, I said, no!
That was a good set. Now, that was at Rev.
That was at Rev.
Did you place it? It was a contest, which they hold all the time.
I have yet to place there.
Good. It's run by Derek Tennant, who travels the country. He does a lot of charity work.
Yes, he does.
And if you ever get to Rev Coffee at this contest, it's a very, very good contest. And usually packed at that show. But that was a good set. But I like your comedy, and your comedy's clean. I don't ever. It is clean. It may be a little edgy, but I don't ever.
Everybody starts off blue for some reason.
But you're not now.
I have it in my back pocket just in case.
You have it because I rarely see you say anything blue anymore.
No, but the simple fact that I do work at a lot of adult businesses, everybody assumes that I'm blue.
Now you're out of the adult business, the DJ. Yeah. Okay. And how many years did you work? It was a club on Roswell. How many years did you work there?
About 4 years.
Yeah. It becomes very old.
Oh, yeah.
And if the girls put their clothes on, you can't recognize them because you don't recognize them with their clothes on.
Well, it's just working with a bunch of women. I mean, just a bunch of naked women who I don't have sex with. It's like being married to 30 women.
Oh, geez, that's true. That's true. Well, I think you're moving ahead in life because you're going to have a show at Jerry Farber's in June for the whole month. And explain that to us. Can you post the card to that?
Yeah, post my card.
Okay, so explain this to us.
Okay. Well, basically, I went to Jerry about a couple months ago. I said, you know, I really want to start back into the nightclub business.
Right.
I used to manage nightclubs for a living for about 5 years. And I want to try my hand at comedy and doing comedy clubs. So I said, yeah, about the month of June, you can go on tour and go wherever you want. I'll rent it out from you so you get a little big on the side.
Yeah.
And I'll take it over for a month and book the entire thing.
So what stars do you have? You have quite big names coming.
Yes, we have Stuart Huff, first week Mike Speenberg, Paul Hooper, Tim Murray, Mia Jackson.
Oh, Mia.
Spanky Brown. He's really, really good. Really fun guy. I have a couple others. I got Brian Smith. He's a hypnotist. He's coming in.
Oh, good.
And for the Wednesdays for that month, it'll be a combination of comics, poets, singers, and songwriters.
Oh, for everything. Oh, I like that.
And then what they do is for the comics, they come in and get the stage time. But for everyone else, whoever does good that day or has a good presentation on stage, can sing or play, I'll hire them for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, that's good.
And they get hired on that, so I can give local artists more work in Atlanta.
Now, are you going to be open every day of the week?
No, actually, Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay. So, could someone come and rent the club from you?
Yeah.
The 2 days?
Yeah.
So that would be an extra way to make a little money.
Oh, yes. We have a couple of pagan sacrifices and stuff like that coming in. It's really good.
That would be good. Okay. So you're real excited about that.
Oh, yes.
You know, I went to see Amy Schumer perform, and Mia Jackson came out and opened for her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember
and
that.
she was amazing.
Oh, she's amazing. Everything.
Yeah, it brought a tear to my eye because we know she came on Comics on Parole. She's working her way up. She's very, very good. So that'll be really exciting. So after this month is over, would you continue? I think Jerry said you could run other shows if there's available, if he has days available. But will you try to find a permanent room?
Yes, I will try to find a permanent room. If not, Jerry and I will actually get into agreement of what days that he wants to give to his people.
Yeah.
And I can book what I want.
I think that's tremendous. I think this will work out for you.
I hope so.
And not only will it work out for you, it'll find you other works to perform. So you need to get into corporate work, and that's where the money is, and stuff like it'll lead to other things for you.
Well, I'm a mediocre comic.
You're
good. Praise me, but I'm a
good.
mediocre comic, but I know where my strengths are, so I'm going into management.
And where can people, but you're not giving up comedy?
Oh, no.
Okay. And where can people find, you have a website or?
Just the Jerry Farber's website.
Jerry Farber, okay. Thank you so much, Woody. And Richard, come up here. And we can't, no, stay up here, Woody. We can't do the traditional, come over here, Richard. Sit down. We cannot do the traditional Comics on Parole dance. Sit right here because we do not have a DJ, but I want to get all of you up here. And thank you very much for tuning in to Comics on Parole. Remember, wherever you go, there you are. Also, check out the Comics on Parole website, www.comicsonparole.com, to see all the past shows. And tune in 2 weeks when we don't know who will be on, but they will be here. And remember, go to harmonybooking.com for all your party needs and entertainment needs. Thank you. Well,